Welcome back to the Alpha Gaming channel. If you clicked on this thumbnail, it probably means you want to upgrade your stream. Well, my name is Harris. I am your stream doctor for today, and let's talk about why your stream is probably trash and how to fix it. Here's the deal, with live streaming exploding as fast as it is, especially on Twitch, a lot of companies are making some really cool streaming tools. Take Elgato, for example. They've got the Stream Deck, which is dope. They've got their new green screen, which is amazing. But the moment they tweet this out, a million people have them, and really they're not changing the way your stream looks, they're just making the little common things more convenient. Today we're gonna talk about 5 unique tools to give your stream an edge that you just don't see very often on Twitch. And we're gonna start with one of my favorites. This little thing right here, it is a quad HDMI capture card. It's probably not focusing on it very well. I think it's focusing on my face, but you can see it. It's got 4 HDMI inputs on it. Most people don't even have a reason to use more than one. They want their console going into their PC, or maybe their gaming PC plugged into their streaming PC if they have a 2 PC setup. But if you are no longer limiting yourself to one HDMI input, you can do some really cool stuff. We've used this for a handful of things. I am well aware that people are probably gonna start getting sick of my face after a couple hours. So with one of these, I have 3 different cameras plugged in. I've got my main camera, which is a Canon 5D that I'm actually using right now. It's a little overkill for streams, but it's amazing. And I've got some other really cool stuff. For example, I've got a cheap little action camera that's super wide, so it gets my whole room. And I mounted a GoPro to my ceiling. So during load-in times or maybe some boring moments in the stream, I flip to that one, keeps it a little entertaining. I've also had some fun with it, gotten really creative. I plugged in 4 Xboxes into a single streaming PC and we had quad streams so we could switch back and forth from POVs. Each person had a foot switch, and as you clicked it, it switched to your POV. And it was the only thing like it I'd ever seen on the internet. Link to this capture card down below. Speaking of HDMI inputs, let's talk about your camera. The most common camera used on Twitch is this little 1080p Logitech camera. And it's a good webcam, but webcams aren't made for content production, and that's really what a live stream is. It's a TV show that you are making live as it happens. And if you want to make your stream look professional, you're gonna need some professional equipment. I've been making YouTube videos on other channels for about 10 years now, so my equipment has been upgraded over time, and I use my massive DSLR as my live stream camera. You don't need a $5 grand camera setup, but investing in a semi-decent camera is gonna make a huge difference for you. For one, webcams aren't made for low light situations, and typically when you're gaming, there's not a lot of light around you. Getting a camera that works in low light situations could be night and day. Now, if you wanna run out and grab a camera right now, the one piece of advice I have is make sure it has an uncompressed HDMI output. What that means is some cameras, including Canon's Rebel lineup, like I own a Canon 70D, when you plug in HDMI, it doesn't give you a full 1080p image. Even though it can record in 1080p, the HDMI output usually has images overlaid over it, or it's got a letterbox around it, and it doesn't give you the full resolution. So check on that first, and you should be good to go. Number 3, let's talk about the most underrated but probably the most important piece of technology in your production, your audio. This, again, is a microphone that I've been using for music videos for years, but it's amazing, and so I use it for my live streams. You probably don't need a $2,000 microphone for your live stream, but pick up a condenser mic and a mixer, specifically one that has a compressor knob on it, get your stream sounding good. Because just to be fair, unless you're a pro and people are only there for your gameplay, nobody's gonna stick around if your audio sounds like this.
Where's Brad? All right, Brad's on carbide. Travis, back up if you can. They're really looking at you, Travis.
Links for good cheap ones you can get for under $100 in the description below. Moving on. So you got yourself a good camera, which is a device that captures video, but unless the source content, you and your room around you that it's capturing looks good, it doesn't matter how great the camera is. My next favorite thing that I use in the streams that gets totally overlooked by streamers are these lights behind me. I not only have a good source light on my face to make sure I'm well lit, but to give myself some contrast, I light the wall behind me blue. And then I have another light shining on the back of my head, highlighting my head red. It's a really cool look, and it really separates me from the background. And really it just stands out, which is what this video is all about. Get some good lights. Get some good colored lights if you can. I use the Philips Hue lights. Link in the description. And lastly, the only thing that's not a hardware device, get yourself a really cool overlay. An animated one. There are now dozens of companies that design free animated overlays for you. There's no reason for you to have a crappy overlay. I even release free overlays. Get yourself a cool animated image so that when people click on your stream, it pops and they stay for a minute to get to see who you are. Anyway, those are my 5 biggest tips for ways to make your stream really stand out. If you want to see them in action, make sure you stop by my live stream. I stream every night from about 7 to 11 Mountain Time. You can check out my camera, my stream, ask questions. I'm always happy to help out. I also have a Discord that you're welcome to join that has an awesome Twitch fam in it, but there is a specific text channel called Stream Doctor. Feel free to ask your questions in there. But anyway, I hope this helped, and happy streaming. Peace. Whoa!
Sorry, bud.